Economies all over the world are on the brink of one of the worst financial disasters in recent times as inflation continues to rise around the globe. But this isn't the first time that humanity is standing on the brink of disaster. Throughout history, we face multiple economic downturns, and while we made it out of all of these problems, they have surely left their scars. And today we'll be discussing 10 of the biggest to date. Welcome to this channel. Number 1. The 1772 Credit Crisis. The London Bank of Neil. James Fortis and Down broke in June 1772 after losing around £300,000 in speculative stock in East India Trading Company, or ICE. That's about £48.8 million, or $64 million in today's money, according to Global History. Panic ensued as bankruptcies increased across London and nearly every private bank in Scotland went insolvent. According to Liberty Street Economics, the crisis swiftly expanded to numerous Dutch banks before the markets were ultimately stabilized. However, the ICE was hit the worst by the crisis and the corporation suffered a serious financial shortfall. According to the Boston Tea Party Museum, the British government approved the Tea Act in 1773 to prevent the ICE from failing. This Tea Act gave the firm a monopoly on North American tea sales, and because of this conduct, American patriots hurled 342 chests of tea into the harbor in a protest you might know as the Boston Tea Party. That happened on December 16, 1773. Number 2. The Long Depression, 1873. According to historical site The World of the Habsburgs, the Long Depression began in 1873 with the collapse of the Vienna Stock Exchange. According to American History USA, the panic in Britain culminated in a nearly two-decade era of economic stagnation. Because it lasted at least 23 years, it's now known as the Long Depression. Some of the often stated reasons for the tragedy include the demonetization of silver in Germany and the United States, as well as increasing speculative investment. The stock exchange in Vienna was followed by banking crises in Austria and subsequently in Germany. Price increases and lower profitability had a knock-on impact on Germany's manufacturing, with cast iron prices rising by 27%. In the U.S., banks such as J. Cook & Co. generated funds by issuing bonds, notably those related to railways. According to the Liberty of Congress, J. Cook & Company and other banking institutions fell as building prices rose. As a result, the New York Stock Exchange was compelled to suspend trade for the first time on September 20. Exports in the United Kingdom decreased by 25%, while unemployment nearly doubled. Number 3. Oil crisis of the 1970s. Inflation was growing all over the world in the late 1960s, especially in the US and UK. The crisis began with the Yom Kippur War between Israel and the coalition of Arab governments on October 6, 1973, and oil prices soared as a result of the battle. The oil crisis took the wind out of the global economy and contributed to a stock market meltdown. Inflation in the United Kingdom reached over 20% before peaking at over 24%. This was due to a combination of factors, including growing salaries, the 1972 budget, which featured significant tax cuts, and increased consumer spending. The British government sought to impose a pay ceiling to combat inflation on November 6, 1972, but this resulted in a coal miner strike. As a result of the strike, Prime Minister Edward Heath was compelled to establish a 3-day week in 1974. With the nation's electrical supply rationed, the cost of living in Britain had increased by 26% by the summer of 1975. This was the first time the country saw both unemployment and inflation grow at the same time, a phenomenon known as stagflation, a term coined by Ian MacLeod. Number 4. The Recession of 1981-82. The recession of 1981-82 was the worst in the United States since the Great Depression. Indeed, the over 11% unemployment rate attained in late 1982 remains the post-war era's pinnacle. During this recession, unemployment was widespread, but manufacturing, construction, and the auto industries were especially hit hard. Despite accounting for only 30% of overall employment at the time, goods makers saw 90% job losses in 1982. Manufacturing accounted for 3/4 of all job losses in the goods-producing sector, with 22% and 24% unemployment rates in the home, building, and car manufacturing industries, respectively. High interest rates placed pressure on sectors of the economy that rely on borrowing, such as manufacturing and construction, and the U.S. economy officially entered a recession in the third quarter of 1981. Unemployment increased from 7.4% at the beginning of the crisis to over 10% a year later. Volcker faced repeated requests from Congress to ease monetary policy as the recession deteriorated, but he insisted that failing to lower long-run inflation expectations now would result in, quote, more catastrophic economic situations over a much longer period of time. Number 5. Recession. In the early 1990s, the economy weakened throughout 1989 and 1990 as a result of the Federal Reserve's tight monetary policies. The Fed's declared objective at the time was to lower inflation, which hampered economic expansion. The recession was triggered by a loss of consumer and corporate confidence as a result of the 1990 oil price shock, which was compounded by an already poor economy. The Tax Reform Act of 1986, which reduced investment incentives and led to the end of the real estate value bubble of the early to mid-1980s, was another factor that may have contributed to the economy's weakness. July 1990 marked the conclusion of the United States' long economic growth during peacetime. Prior to the early 1990 crisis, the country saw strong job growth and a low unemployment rate. According to the Labor Department, the recession cost the economy 1.63 million jobs, or 1.3%, of non-farm payrolls. The construction and manufacturing industries suffered the most losses. The New England states and the West Coast were among the most struck, while the Midwest and South Central areas were less damaged. Number 6. The Recession of 2001. From March to November 2001, the recession lasted 8 months. It was brought on by the dot-com boom and the subsequent bust. The Y2K panic contributed to the boom. In 2000, companies spent billions of dollars on new software because they were concerned their existing systems wouldn't be able to make the shift from the 1900s to the firms were overpriced and eventually failed, and this slump was exacerbated by the 9/11 attacks. The GDP shrank in 2 quarters and -1.6% in Q3. Unemployment continued to rise until June 2003, when it reached 6.3%. Number 7. Asian financial crisis. The Thai government ran out of foreign reserves on July 2, 1997. The government was compelled to float the Thai baht, which was formerly linked to the U.S. dollar, since it could no longer sustain its exchange rate. As a result, the baht's currency exchange rate plummeted. The Philippine peso and the Indonesian rupiah were also devalued significantly. 2 weeks later, the crisis expanded around the world and Asian stock markets hit multi-year lows. In August until October, South Korea's stock market remained reasonably steady. However, on October 28, the Korean yuan hit a new low, and on November 8, the stock market saw its largest one-day plunge since that date. Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, South Korea, and the Philippines were among the countries most hit by the Asian financial crisis. Their currency exchange rates, stock markets, and other asset values all plummeted. The GDPs of the countries affected dropped by double digits, and the Asian financial crisis had political ramifications in addition to its economic consequences. Both Thailand's Prime Minister General at the time and Indonesia's president both resigned. The anti-Western sentiment was stoked, particularly toward George Soros, who was accused by some of starting the crisis by engaging in large-scale currency speculation. However, the impacts of the crisis were not limited to Asia. International investors became hesitant to invest in any developing country, and the turmoil also caused a drop in global oil prices. Number 8. The Great Recession of 2008. The 2008 financial crisis and worldwide recession were the biggest economic calamity since 1920. Nine's Great Depression. The collapse of the U.S. housing market was the primary cause of the crisis. Northern Rock was the first bank in the United Kingdom to face the effects of the subprime mortgage crisis in the U.S. The bank run was started when its difficulties were made public on September 15, 2008. Lehman Brothers, an investment firm founded in 1847, failed in the U.S., precipitating a global financial crisis. The recession in the UK began on January 23, 2009, when the Office for National Statistics announced the economy had contracted in the last 2 quarters of 2008. The British economy took 5 years to recover from the crisis, and by the end of 2011, 2.7 million people were unemployed. Number 9. COVID-19 recession. The COVID-19 pandemic has triggered a global economic recession known as the COVID-19 recession in most nations. This recession began in February 2020. The COVID-19 lockdowns and other safeguards implemented in early 2020 threw the world economy into crisis. After a year of the global economic downturn that witnessed stagnation in economic growth and consumer activity, every advanced economy has entered a recession within 7 months. Many nations had particularly significant and quick rises in unemployment during the crisis. In fact, by October 2020, the United States had received more than 10 million jobless claims, overwhelming state-funded unemployment insurance, computer systems and processes. In April 2020, the United Nations anticipated that worldwide unemployment would eliminate 6.7% of working hours in the second quarter of 2020, equaling to 195 million full-time employees as compared to the previous decade. The recession and the related 2020 Russia-Saudi Arabia oil price war resulted in a decline in oil prices, the collapse of tourism, hotel businesses and the energy industry, and a decrease in consumer activity. Recovery for some countries has already begun, while the situation in others continues to decline. For example, Sri Lanka has defaulted on its loans and didn't even have the resources to buy paper for examinations. Can you believe that? Number 10. The Great Depression. The U.S. stock market crashed on October 24, 1929, after 18 months of speculative purchasing, and this fall prompted the financial catastrophe known as the Great Depression, which was triggered by a weak banking system, industrial overproduction and price drops in farming. Within 5 years, the U.S. economy dropped by half and roughly 15 million people lost their jobs. 4,000 banks had collapsed. By 1933, the world economy was severely impacted by the Great Depression. Exports in the United Kingdom were halved. The unemployment rate increased to 20%. The British economy began to recover only in 1931, when the pound was devalued by 25% in that year. According to Vox, the Great Depression was commonly blamed in Germany for aiding the rise of the Nazis, but a 2017 report also emphasized the impact of austerity measures implemented by Chancellor Heinrich Brüning. The downturn was connected to the advent of fascism in several nations. Franklin D. Roosevelt implemented his New Deal economic policies in the U.S. in an attempt to preserve the country's economy. From 1933 to 1939, they were implemented in 3 stages with the goal of generating jobs for the jobless, giving farmers agricultural support, social security, pensions, and expanding labor rights. This program introduced social security and the concept of a minimum wage, which is still important today. Recessions come and go. It's all about how you deal with them that matters. But with that said, the effects of the pandemic have been perhaps one of the most destructive recessions in modern history. But we can take the lessons from previous years to navigate our way to economic success. So that's it from us today. If you'd like to watch some more of our amazing videos, then subscribe to our channel. And do hit that bell icon on your way out. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this video for you to watch next, or head over to our website for more amazing content. See you tomorrow.